Ethiopia is being described as stabilizing, but only after being pushed to float its currency and absorb a sharp depreciation. At the same time, Kenya is being publicly praised by the IMF. These two moments are not accidental. From Ethiopia to Nigeria and across Africa, the same IMF prescription has often produced currency shocks before stability is declared. So Kenyans should ask, is this praise a warning or a preview of what's coming? And when the IMF applauds your government, who benefits first? If you care about Africa's economic future beyond press releases, subscribe, share, and stay engaged.
Ethiopia. It is one of Africa's biggest coffee producers, and now it is on its way to becoming the continent's new gold powerhouse. Ethiopia has secured $340 million to develop the Tulu Kapi gold project. It will be one of the country's largest modern gold mines. The Tulu Kapi mine is located around 360 kilometers west of the capital, Addis Ababa. It is expected to produce over 4,600 during its first 7 years, and commercial production is set to begin by 2027. The mine would help Ethiopia enter the African gold industry as a serious player and not just a marginal gold producer. Once the operations begin, the gold mine is expected to become a major source of foreign exchange for Ethiopia. Ethiopia is investing in its mining industry at a crucial time. Its currency, the Birr, is facing serious losses. Last year, it was one of the world's weakest currencies and Africa's worst performing currency. The Birr fell more than 15% against the dollar in 2025. Back in July 2024, Ethiopia was granted a $3.4 billion International Monetary Fund extended credit facility. In exchange, it agreed to allow its currency to float freely, open up its financial sector to foreign investment, and make plans to privatize state-owned enterprises. That move marked the start of a sharp losing streak for Ethiopia's currency. After the government liberalised the foreign exchange market, the Birr was allowed to float freely, triggering an immediate and steep decline. Since the float on July the 29th, 2024, the Birr has lost nearly two-thirds of its value. The slide has been fueled by acute dollar scarcity in Africa's second most populous economy, thus putting sustained pressure on the local currency. But the surge in gold exports might be a silver lining for Ethiopia's currency. That is what the country's central bank governor said last year in October. Gold exports surpassed coffee shipments for the first time ever. Can Ethiopia reverse its losing streak with its gold power? That remains to be seen in the months ahead.
Now consider Kenya. President William Ruto has received public praise from IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva.
I admire your determination, I admire your stamina, and the fact that never mind how conditions could shape, you always have a beautiful smile. I am very impressed by the way you have steered not only Kenya but also Africa's solidarity, Africa's positioning with the rest of the world. My 2 points to start our engagement are the following. First, yes, Africa on the whole is holding in a turbulent world reasonably well. We have seen the resilience of the African economies. We also have seen strong performance. 11 of the 20 fastest growing economies are in Africa.
This praise is not casual. Historically, IMF endorsement tends to appear when governments are aligned with reform conditions, political resistance is rising, costly economic decisions are approaching, reversal is being discouraged. Praise is not reassurance, it is reinforcement. Ethiopia shows what happens after a currency shock. Kenya's praise suggests attention should be on what may come before. The key question is not whether reforms will continue, but who will carry the burden.
I am not a madman.
I'm not a madman. I know what I'm saying.
Kenya has secured about $450 million from the IMF. to help the country remain resilient in the face of global shocks and drought. The IMF board's action includes about $215 million in additional low-cost financing, bringing the size of Kenya's IMF program to about $2.4 billion. The program is delivering results. Increased tax revenue and careful spending are stabilizing debt as a share of GDP well below levels originally projected. Kenya accomplished this because of strong commitment from the Ruto administration. Facing pending bills last year and unbudgeted spending from early this year, they took bold action. They fully phased out petrol subsidies, and they're finding cost savings to hold this year's deficit below the budgeted level. Challenges remain, though. Kenya still faces high global prices for food and fertilizer, and the US dollar has been very strong against most global currencies. In this difficult period, monetary policy and exchange rate flexibility have an increased role to play. Steps to revitalize the foreign exchange market are also important and will help support Kenya's foreign exchange reserves. The economy remains resilient in the face of global challenges.
Floating currencies, non-defense policies, and sharp devaluations have become standard IMF prescriptions across Africa. Ethiopia's stabilisation shows the end of that road. Kenya's praise shows where scrutiny should now be focused. This is not ideology, it is pattern recognition. When the IMF praises a government, who is that praise really meant for? And how many times must this cycle repeat across Africa before it is openly questioned? For independent, Pan-African analysis that goes beyond official narratives, subscribe, share, and stay engaged.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this video are based on publicly available information, news sources, and independent analysis. Afriscope TV does not claim to represent any government, political party, or movement. Our goal is to amplify African voices, educate the public, and spark meaningful conversations on global and continental issues. We encourage our audience to engage critically, verify facts independently, and participate in peaceful, lawful civic discourse. This content is for informational and educational purposes only.